Hello and welcome. This is Notibot ENG. I'm your anchor, presenting tonight's news recap. Iran war energy crisis takes center stage as tensions escalate with Tehran and Washington. The latest developments on the disputed blockade of Iranian oil exports, the potential for talks between Trump and Rouhani, and concerns over maritime safety in the region will be covered. We'll also examine the record of trust, or lack thereof, between world leaders and how it's impacting global relations. Let's dive into tonight's news and explore the implications. As tensions escalate in Iran and the global energy market teeters on the brink of chaos, we're taking a closer look at the crisis unfolding. The oil and gas market has taken another hit as tensions between Iran and the U.S. escalate over a blockade on the Strait of Hormuz. The waterway, a critical route for shipping oil from the Middle East to global markets, came to a near halt yesterday after Iran closed it in response to the U.S. seizing an Iranian cargo ship trying to pass through. The U.S. had announced the capture of the vessel, which was allegedly carrying missiles bound for Syria, claiming it was a major blow against Iran's military capabilities. But Iran has dismissed this as a violation of a fragile ceasefire agreement and vowed retaliation. In response, Iranian authorities blocked all shipping in the strait, citing concerns about its own security. The move has sent shockwaves through the oil market, with prices jumping by several dollars per barrel overnight. This is putting pressure on already strained global supplies, which are already facing supply chain disruptions and other challenges. The war in Yemen, for example, has severely impacted shipping lanes in the region. As the situation continues to unfold, fears are growing about the scale of the energy shock that could be caused by a prolonged conflict. With uncertainty over whether there will be a second round of peace talks, the outlook is increasingly dire. Energy analysts warn that if the blockade persists, it could lead to shortages and price spikes, which would have far-reaching consequences for economies around the world. As tensions escalate in the Middle East, Iran's stance on negotiations with world powers takes a dramatic turn amid increased U.S. military presence. The situation in Iran has taken a significant turn as tensions escalate between Tehran and the international community. According to reports from Al Jazeera English, Iranian officials have stated that they will not engage in negotiations under the threat of military action. This comes amidst increased diplomatic pressure following the U.S. withdrawal from the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA, nuclear deal. U.S. President Donald Trump has reiterated his stance on maintaining a blockade of Iranian ports, a move that has sparked widespread condemnation worldwide. The economic impact of this blockade has already been felt in Iran, with the country's economy struggling to recover from years of sanctions. Iranian officials have repeatedly stated that any attempt to block their ports will be met with resistance. This statement is seen as a clear warning to both the U.S. and other nations considering diplomatic engagement. The implications of this move are far-reaching, as it could potentially destabilize regional security and exacerbate tensions in the Middle East. The standoff has sparked concerns among global leaders, who fear that an all-out conflict could be avoided if parties can engage in constructive dialogue. However, with both sides dug in, it remains to be seen whether a peaceful resolution can be reached. The situation is likely to continue to unfold over the coming days, as both Iran and the U.S. maintain their hardline positions. As the crisis deepens, the international community watches with bated breath, hoping for a swift resolution to this escalating conflict. As tensions escalate in the Gulf of Oman, another alarming incident has raised concerns about Iran's ability to ensure safe passage for international shipping. A recent attack on two Indian tankers in the Strait of Hormuz has raised concerns about safety and security in the region. The incident occurred on Saturday when the Jag Arnav and Samar Herald, both carrying crude oil, were targeted by Iranian naval forces. According to analysts, the attack was likely a case of mistaken identity rather than a deliberate move against India. The two tankers, which are not typically involved in sensitive trade routes, were caught off guard by the sudden closure of the Strait of Hormuz, a vital waterway that separates Iran from Oman and the Gulf. The Iranian authorities had previously indicated that traffic through the strait might resume after months of strict military control, but on Saturday, they issued radio warnings advising merchant vessels to avoid the area altogether. The attack has significant implications for global shipping, particularly in light of renewed oil purchases by India from Iran in recent weeks. This development is particularly noteworthy, given that New Delhi maintains working ties with Tehran despite its adversarial relationship with Washington. The incident highlights how easily military pressure and confusion can affect even vessels not intended to be in the line of fire. The incident has sparked concerns about the potential for miscalculations or miscommunications in the region, which could have broader security implications. As the Strait of Hormuz is a critical choke point in global trade, any disruption to its operations can have far-reaching consequences for the world economy. As tensions escalate in the Middle East, questions linger about Donald Trump's stalled Iran nuclear deal, raising concerns of a breakdown in diplomacy and trust. The U.S.-Iran standoff continues to escalate as President Trump's claims about a potential peace deal have raised more questions than answers. According to Axios, Trump told reporters to expect a peace agreement by Monday, but when asked about the status of Vice President Mike Pence's trip to Islamabad for talks, he admitted that Pence was not heading to Pakistan. In reality, Pence remained in Washington, waiting for a signal from Tehran before boarding his plane. This move highlights the deep uncertainty surrounding the future of U.S.-Iran relations. Trump has repeatedly expressed his desire to end the war with Iran on his own terms, but the clock is ticking as the ceasefire expires today. The situation is complex and volatile. Iran still controls the Strait of Hormuz, a critical waterway that supplies much of the world's oil. The U.S. has imposed economic sanctions on Iran, which have had devastating effects on the Iranian economy. Trump's administration has also launched military operations against Iranian forces in Iraq and Syria. The stakes are high, with many analysts predicting that a deal will be reached before the ceasefire expires. But with so much uncertainty surrounding the negotiations, it is impossible to predict what will happen next. One thing is clear: the U.S.-Iran standoff has far-reaching implications for global security and the economy. The world watches anxiously as the situation unfolds. As the deadline approaches, all eyes are on Washington and Tehran to see if a deal can be reached before it's too late. As tensions between Iran and the U.S. continue to escalate, Washington and Tehran are sending mixed signals on the possibility of high-level talks. As tensions between Iran and the U.S. escalate, the region holds its breath as a potential war looms on the horizon. The situation took a dramatic turn with Vice President Mike Pence announcing his lead delegation to Pakistan, where talks are set to take place. Mr. Pence's visit comes after months of escalating rhetoric between Tehran and Washington, with the U.S. calling for Iran to abandon its nuclear program in exchange for sanctions relief. However, Iranian officials have signaled that they will participate in talks if Vice President Mike Pence were present, indicating a potential divide within the administration. According to reports, the U.S. delegation is expected to push for key concessions from Iran, including the dismantling of its ballistic missile program and restrictions on its military activities in the region. Meanwhile, Tehran has repeatedly rejected these demands, citing concerns about national security and sovereignty. The situation matters because it represents a significant escalation in the long-standing rivalry between the two nations. The U.S., under Mr. Trump's leadership, has consistently pushed for tougher measures against Iran, while Tehran has sought to maintain its hardline stance. As talks begin, many are wondering whether the parties can find common ground or if the negotiations will ultimately fail. The involvement of Vice President Pence and Iranian officials adds a layer of complexity to the situation. The U.S. delegation's presence in Pakistan raises questions about the sincerity of Mr. Trump's administration and the willingness of its leaders to engage with Tehran on key issues. As the talks begin, one thing is clear: the fate of the region hangs in the balance, and the outcome will have far-reaching implications for global security. Thank you for watching our live coverage of the ongoing Iran crisis. We'll continue to bring you updates on this developing story. To stay informed, be sure to subscribe to our channel and follow us on social media. We appreciate your trust in our reporting and look forward to bringing you expert analysis and breaking news as it happens. Until next time, good night and thank you for watching.